I'm not your gossip girl, I'm the headline. Truth with a curve, baby, redefine. Welcome to the thirst trap. All the truth looks good in a tight wrap. We talk love, power, so let's in. Turn the world on, let the light in. Yeah, the thirst trap. All the truth looks good in a tight wrap. You'll drink it up, it's the real you. In between thirst rules, where every headline's a revelation.
America deserves answers, not silence. Welcome back, folks. Wow, we are busy on Instagram today. Oh, this is great. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Tonight, we're not talking policy, polls, or petty DC drama. We're talking about something deeper, something older, something that has been poisoning the foundation of this republic since the day politicians realized they could hide behind curtains. Cover-ups, stonewalls, silence, and America? I'm tired of it. I'm tired of watching powerful people dodge accountability while the rest of us are lectured about trusting the system. I'm tired of investigations that go nowhere, agencies that shrug, and political leaders who suddenly lose their voices the moment a story becomes inconvenient. Because here's the truth. Where any American raises serious concerns, when any citizen claims they've been targeted, threatened, or put in danger, we deserve more than a polite nod and a press release. We deserve answers. And whether you love her or hate her, Candace Owens is an American citizen, an American voice, an American who has every right, every constitutional right, to be taken seriously when she says something is wrong. But what do we get instead? A wall of silence, a shrug, a void, a government, including people on the right, acting like the topic is too radioactive to touch. Since when did patriotism mean being quiet? Since when did loving America mean ignoring threats? Since when did America first become America eventually, if we get around to it? I don't care what administration is in power, Republican, Democrat, Independent, Martian. When an American says something is dangerous or suspicious has happened, our government owes us transparency. Period. End of story. And let me be clear, I am not here to claim what happened. I am not here to declare guilt. I am not here to push facts that haven't been proven. But I am here to demand that the American people, what the American people always deserve. And that's the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. Can I get an amen? If there was a threat, tell us. If there wasn't, prove it. If there's information, release it. If there's nothing to see, then show us there's nothing to see. Because silence breeds suspicion. Stonewalling breeds distrust. Cover-ups, real or perceived, eat away at the foundation of this nation more than any foreign enemy could ever dream of. And here's what angers me the most. This isn't the America our founders designed. This country wasn't built on secrecy. It wasn't built on quiet backroom deals or classified excuses. It was built on checks and balances, open debate, and a government that answers to its people, not the other way around. Yet here we are, a nation where politicians talk endlessly about transparency while giving us everything but transparency. A nation where leaders campaign on courage but govern in silence. A nation where the truth has to fight to be heard. And that should terrify every American, left, right, and center. Well, let me tell you something. You cannot run a free nation on selective honesty. You cannot protect a republic with half-truths, and you cannot earn the loyalty of the American people by refusing to look them in the eye. It's not extreme to demand answers. It is not dangerous to ask questions, and it is not out of bounds to expect our government all of it, to investigate serious allegations with seriousness. If we want a stronger America, if we want truth restored, if we want a government that serves the people and not itself, then we must reject the culture of silence. We must reject the uniparty habit of burying anything uncomfortable. We must reject the don't ask questions politeness they expect from us. We must reject the idea that the truth is optional, because the truth is not optional. It never was. And tonight we stand as Americans demanding better, demanding honesty, demanding transparency, and demanding the courage our leaders seem to have misplaced. We don't need conspiracies. We don't need rumors. We don't need whispers. We need the truth. And until we get it, we won't stop asking. Welcome to Thirst Trap News. I'm Luna Lopez, your host. Let's check out the chitty chat and see who's here with me. Give me a little hey yo in the chat if you're still with me. Hey Jack, I'm preaching, buddy. I'm trying. Kanoa is here. Marion's here. Fafio Figaro is here. James Irish. What's up, homie? They need to quit bullshitting and being so much on covering shit up and their asses up. They be straightforward about everything. Yep. Because we are not stupid. We literally see everything. And then I got a couple amens in there. Thank you. Mario says, hi, beautiful. Hey, Mario. You are hot, but the politics kill it. Thanks, Biggie. I appreciate it. Ari. Cash. Mike's here. Scotty. All right. Well, let's see who just popped in while I was scrolling. All right. Irish says, hey, U.S. Fuerte. All right. G1 present. How you guys doing? Everybody doing good? Chad says, keep it up, mama. Did y'all see my drama today? Bitches getting mad that I had the pasties on. I had more clothes on than a nudist colony. Look, they said I was being immoral. I was behaving. I wasn't doing nothing but existed in God's birthday suit. I had more. I don't see anything wrong with nudity. The West is very prudish with nudity. Literally, it's okay, nudity. So what? Everyone's seen it. I could stand for, 10 hours in an auditorium eventually and just speaking naked. Eventually they're going to just stop. Their eyes will glaze over. I mean, come on now. Everybody I had these little blue hearts on or whatever on my subscriber show on Sundays. So I wear lingerie, and the lingerie that I had was too see-through. So I had to do little blue pasties, and it was really cute. It was a fun show. I did a lot of cheers and stuff. But yeah, it was really interesting. So, I had to clown on the haters for a little bit because they don't get it. They don't get that the thirst trap's the placeholder to get you to come listen to politics. You know what I'm saying? It's not immoral to be sexy. It's not immoral to show what God gave me. It's my birthday suit. We all enter the world the same. We all go out the same. I got more humans invented clothes for their own insecurities. If I make someone uncomfortable because I'm naked, I'm not responsible for your thoughts in your head. You're responsible to make sure your thoughts are clean or holy, and that can be interpreted in a lot of different ways. So that's between you and God. You know what I'm saying? He said, upsell. Mike, I'm trying to hustle. Marion said, looking beautiful when she was doing it. Here for the views. As long as you got an ear. Because I'm trying to create a movement, y'all. We need America only. America motherfucking only. Call me a goddamn nationalist. I don't give a fuck. Yes, I am. Oh, boo-hoo. I'm a nationalist for America. Oh, no. Yeah, that's right. U.S., U.S., U.S. I love all the patriots that come through. I really do. I'm trying to make patriotism sexy. Sexy again. You know what I'm saying? If I was being immoral, I would be on OnlyFans. And I don't do OnlyFans. No one could afford me if I were to, by the way. I would be expensive. Marca. All right. Well, guess what we are reviewing today? Candace Owens finally put out a video because you remember she's been off the air because they wouldn't let her, go on air after she turned in her paper trail of proof that, it is now her opinion based on her evidence that the French Legionnaires, their special forces, which is basically like our, SEAL team kind of thing. And they told her not to go on air, that the Homeland Security and counter-terrorist force is got a hold of this now. Trump's very aware of it. If you noticed all last week, Trump increasingly got more snippy and more snippy and more snippy with people and their stupidity. His patience this past week has gone out the window. Me and my husband have been talking about it all week. We're like, look at him. Like, he's got something up his ass. And I'm kind of here for it. I'm enjoying it because it means, something's going on. And he's like, really, I like the fact that he's had it up to here with something, right? I think it's this. What's happened with Candace, because it implicates France, who are supposed to be our allies. It implicates a lot. France, it's a big deal because that's basically war. You just shot and killed one of our Americans in broad daylight on network TV, not network TV. I'm giving my age away. On what's this thing called? We're on the internet, the live stream, the internet, and I think Trump's trying to figure out what the fuck to do. Candace is not happy she hasn't heard from Trump, but I don't think if I were the president, I'm not going to immediately make a phone call to Candace. I'm going to start doing my homework and figure out who I need involved in this, who I can't let in on this, who I have to keep this secret from. Because if the CIA is going to, I don't think the CIA clues in the rest of the government. It's almost like its own independent government, which I think is totally wrong. They're not telling the president, so I'm sure he has to be incredibly strategic with this whole entire thing. I'm sure it's not making him feel good to realize that our allies literally have committed I would take that as an act of war if I was the president. And I would go handle that eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, because I would want whoever was involved in orchestrating that all firing squad, that's where I would be at, firing squad. So we are going to review White Hats Are in Charge. I think so. I think there's a lot of good going on behind the scenes. But I think Candace needs to be patient. I think certain things just have to play out in a certain way. I'm trying to fix this view here because I don't want you guys to see the ugly side of my studio. There we go. There we go. Do I look crooked now? Okay, so if I'm looking straight at you guys, do I look like I'm crooked on Instagram? No, I don't. I look fine. Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Let's go on over to YouTube and we are going to watch. Oh, look, I have a new feature, guys. Check this out. I can do Google searches now with you guys live in real time, and we can research and go down rabbit holes together. Isn't that fucking dope? I think it's freaking cool. So yeah, here we go. This is gonna be good. Let's listen to Candace. Y'all buckle in. Get your popcorn. Get your whiskey. Get your smoke, get your babe, put her in your lap. I'll talk to your girl too. I'm not here just for the fellas. I'm trying to create clones of me. I'm trying to create a Luna army. Get your sweeties, cuddle up, and let's dive into some conspiracy theory courtesy of Candace Owens. Love her. Now, I just want to point out the thumbnail of her video says d'assaut de France. And look at what she's wearing. That is a French traditional shirt. She is giving France the fuck you tried to kill me. Fuck you. I'm going to wear your shit. I love her. She's such a bitch. It's great. That's my bitch.
All right, you guys, it is a very tangled web that we weave. I'm referring to me and Jean-Michel Trogneau, okay? Jean-Michel Trogneau has been so protected and has worn so many faces and has clearly gotten away with that across so many decades that you can almost understand the sheer arrogance. Imagine being so protected that you force multiple nation states to collude to hide the obvious fact that you were born with a penis, right? That is real power. I am talking satanic power, though. And the antidote to Satan is always Christ. Truth will reign supreme in the end. So welcome back to Candace.
Hey, Ari. Let me put this on pause so I could talk to Ari. Hey, Ari. We are... Oh, you got to go back and listen to my monologue. So on my reaction videos where we are just doom scrolling and reacting to political shit together, my monologue is going to be more funny. And on serious shows like this one, my monologue is obviously serious because it's a very serious topic. So we are reviewing Candace's video that she's just finally let out today, dropped 3 hours ago after, she was able to confirm that an assassination has been paid for her. So yes, Riptide, of course I get dressed up for you guys. I get dressed up for you guys every show for all my thirsty babes. But yes, get your sweetie pies, get your popcorn, get your wine. I got a tequila order on the way because your girl's trying to quit vaping nicotine, so I just need something to get through this show. All right, here we go. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Get comfortable, you guys, because it is going to be a long week. I have so many explosive revelations to share with you, and now it feels especially urgent, right? Don't you feel a sense of urgency right now in the wake of me having learned that France apparently paid for my assassination and that the French Foreign Legion was apparently involved and on the ground at UVU on the day of Charlie Kirk's assassination? And we should probably begin there. Foremost, if you were one of the people online who believed for a single second that it was even a remote possibility that I simply made up a French assassination attempt heading into Thanksgiving week, I don't know, for like attention or something.
That's the thing I've been thinking about all week is like, why is everybody thinking she's just going to make this up? For what? Number one, she's already famous. Number two, she's already rich. Number three, she's not a thought. She's not out there like, she's not dressed like me going, hi, I'm trying to get attention so you hear what I have to say politically. No, she's already got an empire, a brand, and everything. She doesn't need to look for more attention. And also, isn't it like kind of illegal to like make a false claim that someone is committing a crime or conspiring to commit a crime? There's that too. And she's not going to ruin her life by lying about this. You know what I'm saying? Her life is already, when someone wants to murder you, put yourself in that position. You got nothing else to lose. So you better speak up. Of course, people are going to say you're crazy if you find out about it before it happens. No one wants to believe a murder is going to take place.
Around and I said, I'm just not getting enough attention. How can I start a global conversation about me? And then I came up with this idea of creating fan fiction where I imagined myself as the victim of a multinational state plot to murder me. Yeah, if you thought that for a single second, that it was for funsies because I'm not busy or anything,
Right.
then you're just not sober. You're not paying attention to anything, and you need to wake up real fast. We're going to move
Irish, put your phone on Do Not Disturb. You're with Luna right now. I got your attention, right?
quickly through a lot of things this week because everyone in the world needs to wake up to how things actually work. LOL to the idea of Western democracy. LOL to the idea that you can win in life and that everything's basically you've set the stage for a meritocracy and you can get ahead. No, actually, as you learn things, you become a target. You become a target to people that operate in the shadows. And that is, I think, what we are all learning in the wake of the last couple of months, especially. Now, going back to November 25th, I obviously tweeted exactly what I was informed. Okay, I'm going to read that tweet to you in its entirety. Urgent. 2 days ago, I was contacted by a high-ranking employee of the French government. After determining this person's position and proximity to the French couple, I have deemed the information that they gave me to be credible enough to share publicly in the event that something happens. In short, this person claims the Macrons have executed upon and paid for my assassination. Yes, you read that correctly. More specifically, that the green light.
How many of you saw this when it first came out? Jack says intelligence is intimidating to the left. I'm learning that.
It was given to a small team in the National Gendarmerie Intervention Group. I am told there is one Israeli that is on the assassination squad and that plans were formalized. Again, this person provided concrete proof that they are well placed within the French government apparatus. Further to this point, this person claims that Charlie Kirk's assassin trained with the French Legion 13th Brigade with multi-state involvement. Journalist Xavier Poussard's life is also at risk. This is deadly serious. The head of
So Xavier Poussard, he's been in hiding, I think, too. I think.
The state of France apparently wants us both dead and has authorized professional units to carry this out. I asked that.
Hey, Cash. Hey, Yellowtail. We are reviewing the video Candace Owens just dropped. So go get your lovers, your wine, your popcorn, get under a blanket and get cozy.
Every person retweet and share this. I do not know who in the American government can be trusted since this source claims that our leaders are aware. But I have more specific information, which is definitively verifiable, should they care to reach out to me. And to the brave official in France who did this because they were so moved by the evil of Charlie's public execution to risk their own life, may God bless you truly, let all be revealed. Now, I got even more specific. Right? I said there was a paper trail that Macron allegedly paid $1.5 million. And I am saying,
Look at this beautiful cup I got at the Trump Hotel in Vegas. Cheers, Prost, Skull.
allegedly, because until I can physically see with my own eyes inside of these accounts and verify the transfer of that payment, it's of course alleged. The amount is alleged. 2 assassins were hired, one Israeli, one French Canadian woman, okay, a man and a woman. And I also said that the money ran through the elite gentleman Club des Cent. Again, I was very specific. And I asserted that the French Foreign Legion, which was a legion and a group that I had never heard about prior to this notification, were involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination. Okay.
Welcome, Uncle Daddy Jackson, R. Wilson 302, and Bojan Doe. I know who Bojan Doe is. I said it that way on purpose. Welcome for the first time, Bojan. Hey, yep. Cheers. Salut. Who's so embarrassing, Candace? Maybe you should keep watching. Let's back up what she just said.
That every person retweet and share this. I do not know who in the American government can be trusted since this source claims that our leaders are aware. But I have more specific information, which is definitively verifiable, should they care to reach out to me.
Here's the thing. It's illegal, Mr. Wilson, to make a claim that someone is about to commit a crime on you. She named them by name. Nothing has happened to her. She's not going to jail. No one has threatened to sue her in this last week. In fact, what the White House did was tell her not to go on air and to lay low. Let's just keep watching this. You need to have an open mind. When anybody says that they feel threatened, we should take that seriously. These are fellow Americans. If you were being threatened, Mr. Wilson, you would want all of us to take it seriously and not call you crazy. So let's give her that same respect of being non-emotional. Let's take our emotions out of the information she is presenting and absorb it with a neutral, critical mind.
And to the brave official in France who did this because they were so moved by the evil of Charlie's public execution to risk their own life, may God bless you truly, let all be revealed. Now, I got even more specific, right? I said there was a paper trail that Macron allegedly paid $1.5 million. And I am saying allegedly because until I can physically see with my own eyes inside of these accounts and verify the transfer of that payment, it's of course.
Actually, Mr. Wilson, Project Veritas, you should go look at their last and latest post because they went undercover and basically verified everything she's saying. And they have it all in text. They always produce receipts. They always tell everybody what happened, let everyone look stupid by calling them crazy, and then they bring the receipts. But no, Project Veritas and Mr. O'Keefe got it all in writing. I'll show you guys that too.
Course, alleged. The amount is alleged. 2 assassins were hired. One Israeli, one French, Canadian woman.
Sit down and be quiet.
Man and a woman. And I also said that the money ran through the elite gentleman Club des Cent. Again, I was very specific. And I asserted that the French Foreign Legion, which was a legion and a group that I had never heard about prior to this notification, were involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination. Okay, I don't follow military stuff. So me even mentioning specific gendarmerie, you have to assume that I got this information from somebody. Now, if you are, in fact, currently at this moment, the first man of France, that would be Brigitte Macron, and you are currently suing a podcaster in America named Candace Owens for defamation, for telling the truth, right? And the story that you are trying to sell to the public is that you were really deep down in your heart, you really believe that you are a woman and Candace is just crazy and desperate for clicks and willing to defame you for money. Then Candace Owens
get on
publicly
our Wilson's page and tell me what they're all about real quick. I got some suspicions. Get on his page. I can't do that during my live stream because I'm logged into my Instagram, but I want somebody to go troll his page and see who is this guy? Why has he got Trump and laser beam eyes? Is this account even American? Are you a Zionist? Who fuck are you, Mr. Wilson?
Claiming and accusing you of something directly implicated in her assassination, a claim which has gone viral. When I say viral, I mean just the tweet alone had over 100,000 retweets and 45 million impressions on X alone, okay? This would be your unique opportunity
I'm not going to waste my
as the French
time
first man to prove your case about Candace to the public, right? In the court of public opinion. This would be your time to slam dunk. Remember, the French couple has been so psychotically obsessed with trying to paint me as conflicted in my reporting that they even hired a private investigator to try to see if I was colluding with other state actors. You know, they kind of gloriously insinuated that I might be working with Russia. They paid for that. They paid for that investigation. So using that logic, wouldn't this...
Oh my God, the New York Post, which freaking usually hates Trump, right? Oh, shoot.
Be the opportunity, if you're the French couple, to come out and to prove your point, to make a stunning and a swift statement, right? We are shocked by the accusation Of course, never in a million years. Oh, we told you guys, this is just for clicks. It's for money. This is beyond anything we've ever heard. I hope Candace gets well soon. That would be what I would say you should do if I'm advising you from a PR standpoint, right? In American basketball terms, this is like a flagrant foul, and you now get some free throws, right? If you're the French couple. You're going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees, investigative fees, and PR fees in a country on the other side of the Atlantic, trying desperately to paint me as a lunatic, and I give you the opportunity to spike the ball.
She's like, literally, please prove me wrong. Please call me a liar. I want you to.
To prove that I'm a lunatic, and you don't do it?
Nothing. It's been fucking crickets the whole week. I thought for sure someone was going to be like, nope, you ain't about to slander me. You aren't about to talk about my country like this. You're not about to talk about my military like this. Oh, no, nothing. It's been like, maybe if we don't say, it's like a vacuum happened. Maybe if we just don't say anything, it'll go away. Yeah. It's always the ones they try to make look crazy that they, like I said, those are the ones that you got to pay attention to, because why do they? It's like what they did to Kanye, what they did to Lindsay Lohan, what they did to Britney Spears. I mean, I could go down the list. Matthew Perry. I could go down the list. Anybody. Oh, Roseanne Barr. I love Roseanne Barr. They put her in the loony bin many times because she was trying to speak out on all of this sick cabal that runs the world. And I tell you what, I'm telling you, Trump's mood right now, it's about this. I'm telling you, it's about this. I know it. I feel it. Y'all know I got the witchy spidey tingles. Bleh. Y'all been watching me long enough to know when my instinct is on something, I'm probably right.
Do it, did they? If you've been paying attention, they did not do it. Of course, they send out the people on Twitter who get to come out and say,
I don't know what the fuck this guy's talking about. He said, you're not Googling, as if he runs my show. And then he says, nobody cares. You lost Palestine. Grow up. Get over it. Nobody cares about Palestine either, fuckface. We care about America. That's it.
Oh, I think she's crazy. I think she's making it up. They do this. We are always doing this every week. Oh, Trump never called her about Brigitte Macron. She's making that up for attention. Oh, she's lying. Charlie Kirk never changed his mind about Israel. She's making that up for attention. This is what we do every week, right? We're hamsters on a wheel. And so we're back to that again, right? People saying that I made it up. But what did the French couple do? That's what matters. It's now been a full week since I made that announcement. And here is the official response issued by the Élysée Palace. Nothing.
It's funny.
Nothing.
When I called the palace, I heard the same thing. I thought it sounded like crickets too. I thought I was crazy.
I want you to bear in mind that this was front page global news from the United States to Russia. And I publicly challenged the Candace is making everything up crowd to prove it. Press the White House for a response, right? The White House the ball is very firmly in their court. And a week later, this is the official White House response. So what are we to make of that, you guys? Did I report it to the White House? Of course I reported it to the White House. Did I report it to the FBI? Of course I reported it to the FBI.
My dear, though, you got to be patient, Miss Candace. Sorry, I forgot to switch y'all over. They, like I was saying at the beginning of this, they're not going to be able to say anything to you right away, especially because what if the French are tapping your phones? What if, like, they have to do this so strategically if they're taking her seriously? They're not going to just jump on the phone with her and just start blabbing everything and compromising anything. They've got to be strategic about who they involve with anything in regards to this.
Did I report it to our counterterrorism unit? Of course I reported it because I'm telling you there's a paper trail. Common sense. You think I'm just doing that because I'm assuming you could get a felony for making something up out of thin air like that. You can't just use United States resources to go after somebody in a plot that never existed that you did for clicks on YouTube. So what's the issue here? Why is no one coming out and telling you that that's completely baseless, especially the Charlie Kirk assassination? The whole world is invested in that assassination. Wouldn't you want to shut that down? The idea that it was a multinationally planned event? And by the way, is that on its face even plausible?
Nobody asked you, yep, have a good night. And I'm not going to give you what you're looking for here, because if you actually stood for what you're trying to say you stand for, you wouldn't be coming in this chat acting like the way you're acting. You would be being a patriot. You would be supporting me exploring both sides of the argument. You wouldn't be coming in here trying to be a fucking troll, because anybody that's serving our country that has a fucking ugly heart like that wants to come in and be a fucking troll, I'm not going to thank you for jack shit. So keep it moving.
Multiple agencies and multiple countries involved.
Thank
from
you, John
Egypt
John.
to Israel. People are saying that's totally crazy. No, it's a lone shooter who had never been on.
Especially because his narcissistic ass just volunteered what he just said. Because he's just dying for someone to thank him. He's just dying for it. That he had to find a way to just put it in there and then nobody gives a fuck about him.
Campus who climbed the roofs like Spider-Man, happened to know where Charlie would be sitting and hit that shot in 4 seconds. Is it plausible that that's not the truth? Of course it's plausible. Mm-hmm. Anyone who knows anything about the French government probably knows that they have an appetite for cruelty and sexual deviancy. Anybody who has made it through the first couple of episodes of becoming...
Because everybody's been wondering, like, what started all this in the first place, at least with her. Because when she was wanting to find out who murdered her friend, she had no idea that her side project with the Macrons was somehow going to loop right back in to this. It's kind of crazy. It's so cosmic. This is divine for her. Divine is guiding her, because I do not find it a coincidence that before Charlie was killed, she was already down a deep rabbit hole investigating the Macrons because of that ugly man dressing as a woman over there. Used to be in America doing nasty, horrible things to children, then goes over to France, and they seem to be super friendly to expats of all sorts, to criminals that come all over the place, from all over the place. And then he goes over there, marries that dude, changes his sex, and then she's on this pet project about all the pedophilia, says MK Ultra like one time because something happened with Brigitte Macron that fell in line with a date as pertaining to MK Ultra. And then the Macrons flip their shit, go to sue her because she's talking about MK Ultra, mention MK Ultra 18 times in the lawsuit when she thought the lawsuit was really just going to be about her trying to prove that Brigitte is actually Brandon, I guess. And she had no idea that this MK Ultra thing would lead her right back to Charlie. So, you gotta, when you see something like that, at my age, you don't believe in coincidences anymore. And when you hear and observe and see something like that, you stop and you watch and you pay attention. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Mike. Hey, Knutson, you missed a fun little bit of trolling in the chat. Just a spot.
Brigitte knows that the French government has an appetite for cruelty and sexual deviancy.
Zio, what's up, buddy?
LOL. The city of romance, really? Romance with who? Exactly. That's one of the broader points of the Becoming
family?
Brigitte series. And so I'd like to thank Pavel Durov, the founder of Telegram,
Haley,
for being one of the first people to stick out his neck immediately and to assert what the entire world already knows about France. Here's what he said. He said, after reviewing everything Charlie Kirk has ever said about Macron's France, I find Candace's information about French involvement in his death entirely plausible. Charlie even called for 300% tariffs on France until the charges against me were dropped.
What's up, Rob?
And I also would like to shout out Freddie Ponton, who wrote this article reminding people, and when I say reminding, I mean teaching people, if you're me, because I didn't know this, that exactly this satellite of countries, France, Israel, the French Legion, the United States, Egypt, were quite literally involved in exactly this sort of operation, which further reaching global implications, involving the Safari Club in Egypt. Now, if you haven't heard of that, this was the article that he wrote, passed as prologue. Safari Club illuminates Candace Owens' allegations. I had never heard of this. I really hadn't, okay? Because I feel like I'm Alice in Wonderland few years ago, I kind of believed everything the government said. I thought there were good guys. And after the Charlie Kirk assassination, I'm going, oh, wait, no, nobody is a good guy. These are like gangs that are running the world, obviously, gangs that have gone mainstream, and democracy and the idea of a republic is just an illusion. Well, anyways, in that article, I'm not going to read a paragraph from it, but he said, when Candace Owens claimed on X that a high-ranking French government insider warned her of an...
That's a good point. I haven't made that connection, but I could see how you got there with the Hillary comment. Anyone else on IG only getting a portion of the camera frame, or is it just me? Here's what I'm seeing. Oh, sorry. Zio, this is what I can see. So I can see all of me and Candace. Might be your phone. Maybe change the orientation. I'm not sure. Also, I'm on Rumble live right now too, Zio. Same username, Real Luna Lopez, and it's a way better image on Rumble, like way better. And you can see how I'm starting to get my winter skin. Mama looking less yellow and a little bit more white.
Imminent plot to have her assassinated, alleging that President Emmanuel Macron and his wife Brigitte had authorized and financed the operation, assigning it to a small national gendarmerie intervention group team that included an Israeli operative. She also suggested that Charlie Kirk's assassin trained with the French Legion with multi-state involvement. The claim sounded like it belonged to the realm of conspiracy thrillers, and yet, as the allegation ricocheted across social media, something unusual happened. People did not instinctively laugh it off. Some dismissed it, yes, but many hesitated, paused, or quietly admitted that given the right circumstances, given the right network of covert actors, such a plot didn't feel entirely impossible. That hesitation doesn't come from trust in Owens, it comes from history. And sure enough, and I'm just pulling up the Wikipedia page here, you should go read.
Let me pause this and find for you guys the Project Veritas. Okay. The Project Veritas let's see if I can find it. Let's go to images. Aha. All right, this is 6 days ago. Let's see. I'm trying to find a better platform because I don't want to open it. Let's see. Open the new tab. Here we go. Okay. Let me see. All right. So Project Veritas released screenshots that appear to show political operatives discussing coordinated attempts to blackmail Candace Owens with instructions attributed to the daughter of former Attorney General Bill Barr. The messages outline clear objectives. Pressure her into silence. Move quickly before she exposes questionable activity inside political campaign. If verified, this will reveal the inner workings of a political machine that treats opponents as threats to be neutralized rather than citizens to be debated. When I was running for Congress, they scared me. They were following me around. So it says right here, hi, I need you to start working on blank. They redacted it, and the Candace Owens case. Armstrong will give you the commands, but we need to focus on. Wait, this is not the one. It's the one where. No. It's tied to this. I'll show you. This was. Okay, here it is. Is this the one? Oh my gosh, please not be the same thing. Here it is. These are the text messages that got sent. This is the post by Project Veritas. Okay, about the last thing we were just talking about. Threatening text from a number linked to Armstrong Williams to corroborate Project Veritas's report on the targeting of Candace Owens. Attorney General Barr, they got a quote, is already running out of patience. Take a good hard look at what happened to Charlie Kirk and maybe you'll think twice. So look at this. Do you think I didn't notice you handed your text messages about Candace over to Veritas? You're being far too brazen. I know you're without a lawyer. How on earth do you think pulling a stunt like that helps you? You'd better remember every single day that you're only alive because of me and that you were never extradited because of me as well. The next time I see any of your messages leaked to Veritas, things are going to change. Barr is already running out of patience with your behavior. Be careful. Candace is paying for your security these days. ? Because if she isn't, she really ought to be. And now that you're on her team and act like you two are thick as thieves, you can pass along a message for me. Things won't end well for either of you if this nonsense keeps up. Just take a good hard look at what happened with Kirk and maybe you'll think twice. That was the beginning of what we're watching her talk about now. So just wanted to show you that. The committee of the establishment, DC opposition research people who work solely for doing research on the opposition were following me many, many times. One time they followed me for 13 hours.
The article in its entirety, but the Safari Club, man, a covert alliance of intelligence services formed in 1976 that ran operations around Africa when the United States Congress had limited the power of the CIA after years of abuses. They decided to kind of go overseas and handle business. They had members in pre-revolutionary Iran, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Morocco, and France. Israel's involved, Rhodesia, South Africa. I mean, it tells you there that the process is then resulted in the 1979 Egypt-Israel peace treaty. Peace. Okay, cool. Like I said, read more about that. Now, in terms of formal replies that we received.
You're here just in time for me to take my first puff in 24 hours. I'm getting a fucking headache and I just texted production to bring me Tylenol. Oh, Rashad Parker's on. Hey, honey. Long time no see. That's going to hit me because I haven't hit that in 24 hours. Holy moly. Covert Creations. Birdman joined. What's up, folks? Welcome, babes.
From government structures. The only department that we did hear back, well, first let me say, I did not at all hear back from the FBI on the American side. I did hear back from the counterterrorism unit. I did hear back from the White House confirming that that message had been delivered on Trump's desk.
That's good, because if they weren't taking it seriously, they wouldn't have called you and confirmed it at all. I know how this works. So that's good. Candace is very honest, and she's very good at showing her cards and showing what she doesn't know. She doesn't know she's showing what she doesn't know, but I can see she's being very authentic. She wants responses. If you were in this situation in your life, if you knew someone was trying to murder you, every bump in the night you'd be waking up. So I understand, but what she's got to realize is they have got to do their due diligence, get their ducks in a row. Because this is way bigger than just protecting a single citizen.
Me saying that I had the information, I guess he didn't want to inquire further, which is interesting. But the FBI left me on red. And I will say I didn't go through an official channel and send an email, and I should do that. But I did send a text message to somebody very high up who received the text message. No response. Now, I thought that the claim of the French Foreign Legion being involved in Charlie's assassination, I thought the FBI might be interested. No phone calls even from Utah's FBI branch have come into me either. Wouldn't you want to see? Aren't we supposed to be investigating the Charlie Kirk assassination? It was totally not a state operation, and they really want to get to the truth, which explains why nobody called. No, Utah, not interested.
I mean, she has a fair point. I mean, you would think they'd be all over it, but like, I mean, JFK wanted a lot of things exposed, and look what happened to him. Just saying. I think Trump is much smarter. I think he's going. Age brings wisdom. You can't be a 40-something-year-old president shouting from the rooftops to declassify or shout secrets. Like, look what happened to JFK. Of course, they're going to do it to Charlie Kirk. Of course, they're going to do it to Candace. They'll do it to you and me. Trump, they'll do it to him. They tried to kill him already. They were unsuccessful. So I think he knows he's got to do this covertly, quietly, and in secret, because I'm telling you, he has, if you know Trump, if you're a real true fan of Trump before he was even a president like I was, I've been a fan of Trump since I was a kid. Because being part black, like, that was our dude. That's our nigga, okay? We love him. I know his, like, flavor, his style, his little mannerisms. He is perturbed. His fuse is like this right now. He's just had it with all of the bullshit. So
I'm actually surprised Tyler Robinson's lawyer hasn't reached out to me. What's going on here? Now we've got to protect the patsy, right? We've got to protect the patsy in this situation. Regarding the only official that we did receive any sort of a public response from, it reads to me like a confession. Let me know if you agree. So I pointed out that interestingly enough, after I began researching the French Legion, I very quickly stumbled upon the fact that they were also involved in a joint operation with American troops in the exact weeks leading up to Charlie's assassination.
Yep. And the French Legionnaires were all over that campus the day Charlie got shot. They were all over that campus. I'm pretty sure they were the ones in the burgundy shirts.
Specifically, according to the French Foreign Legion website, between August 2nd and August 25th of this year, the Legionnaires from the 4th Company, 2nd Foreign Infantry Regiment, the 6th Light Armored Brigade, were integrated with U.S. Marines of the 6th Marine Regiment for a 3-week training deployment. Okay, that took place in California. Okay. And then once that training ended, I said this online, another camp began immediately. It was a joint exercise with civilians, which included military men from the Minot Air Force Base. And that joint exercise took place in Minnesota at Camp Ripley. And that ran just for a couple of days until August 27th. And that was known as Operation Valhalla. Okay, random 3-day exercise with civilians. And I was wondering if the French Legionnaires that were in California maybe jumped right into activities going on with these civilians at Camp Ripley. But I typoed on X and I wrote Camp Riley. Okay, so I wrote, it's not a coincidence that the French Legionnaires were in the United States training with our Marines for 3 weeks. And when those 3 weeks ended in California, another military training exercise began alongside civilians at Camp Riley in Minnesota. Should have said Ripley. Now, you will recall, for those of you who are following the Becoming Brigitte series, that the preferred Macron response is to never address the substance of the claims, but to instead focus on minor details that somebody may get wrong. That's how they've gone after every journalist who has covered the fact that Brigitte Macron was born a male, right? Oopsies, you messed up on this one detail, and now we're going to sue you for defamation. But not, of course, the substance, which is like, hey, you lived as a man for a very long time, and the military won't release your file, and we don't know what you were doing in the military, as Jean-Michel Trogneux. So me making a spelling error was the perfect way for them to attack the broader story, right? The larger story here being, hey, the French Legionnaires might have been on the ground during Charlie Kirk's assassination. So what happened is the Minister of the Armed Forces issued the following statement in France, and I'm going to quote this for you. Quote, Tyler Robinson was never part of the French Foreign Legion. If he did not serve in an American military unit, he could not have trained with the French Foreign Legion. End quote. Well, that's quite a way to dance around things. And Charlie Kirk says, I see what you did there. You just missed the fact that we don't think Tyler Robinson did. So you're just issuing a statement. This is bogus. Tyler Robinson never trained in the French Foreign Legion. Do you mind answering yes or no if anybody who trained with the French Foreign Legion was on the ground on September 10th at Utah Valley University?
Manuel Camacho.
And we are asking that
Amen,
explicit
brother.
question because one of the strangest things is that the UVU students who attended said that they felt like they didn't recognize anybody that was there. It was weird. It was very strange that they advertised for this event really late in the day. And then suddenly we see a bunch of adults and people that they don't recognize at this event. And then afterwards, the national media moves to, it looks like they're almost trying not to interview any UVU students, right? They're interviewing everybody around. You got all these adults who were there, but mysteriously the UVU students who had some interesting tidbits about what was weird that day just don't flood into the mainstream like we expected them to. Can you answer that question? Yes or no? That seems tricky when it comes to the French government. Yes or no questions are not their thing. Elsewhere in the article,
You would think they'd be
and this is
emphatically
France
like,
24
nope, we had
that
nothing to
reported
do with
this.
this.
It tells us that, quote, the Ministry of the Armed Forces confirms that a training exercise by the 2nd Foreign Infantry Regiment, a unit of the French Foreign Legion, did indeed take place in California from August 2nd to the 25th, as reported by Candace Owens. However, the exercise announced on the ministry's website and the regiment's Facebook page was not clandestine operation. The Ministry of the Armed Forces formally denies that another Foreign Legion training exercise
Yes,
took
it
place
does.
at a
Expats. Jack says, yeah. Me and my roommate were just talking about that before he came on because I told him I was going to talk about this. We were talking about how the French Foreign Legion has, lots of people from all around the world because if they, go serve that military time, then they become a citizen. I think the U.S. offers the same thing, actually. You get expats and everything coming.
Posed Camp Riley in Minnesota after the conclusion of the California exercise, and for good reason, because no Camp Riley exists in Minnesota. As Andy Parrish, the former chief of staff to the Republican state representative, pointed out on X.
Right.
Oh, there is, however, a Camp Ripley, they go on, but this inaccuracy speaks volumes about the credibility of Candace Owens' alleged source. So that's how they're debunking it. A typo. I put Riley, not Ripley, and they can now confirm that the French Legion did not take part in any exercise at Camp Riley because it doesn't exist, and Candace Owens is stupid, and so now you should.
That's how they try to play her. Because obviously we know what they knew what she really meant, and they just gave an answer on the technicality. This is what they fucking do. You know what I mean? You would do it too if you committed a murder and you were on trial. You'd be trying to find any sort of technicality to be like, it wasn't me. You know what I mean? Killuminati says, a side note, we had to learn the USMJ, which means it was condensed into a handful of articles, and disobeying a lawful order was one of them. The main one was unauthorized absence, or an Article 86. I'm an ex-military wife, so I do know about a little about what you're talking about. Hi, John. John is one of my favorite names.
You just assume that everything else source said is debunked. This is what you call a non-debunking debunk, a Snopes level debunking over a typo. Okay. And I guess my other allegations should not be answered or even explored. Now, I should mention also that after that civilian military exercise ended at Camp Ripley on the 27th, another joint military operation began from August 29th through to September 10th, the day that Charlie was shot. And that was known as Operation Bright Star, and that took place in Cairo, Egypt. Now, it is a biennial joint military operation. It's co-hosted by the United States and Egypt to enhance regional security and to strengthen military partnerships. I just don't love the timing of all of these things. I just don't love France and Egypt and the United States together for the whole month leading up to the assassination of Charlie Kirk. So I'm going to speculate until we get some answers, some straight yes or no answers from the White House, from the Élysée Palace, or from the French security forces. Now, as it pertains to the French Legion, something else that's kind of interesting is that they basically gutted and replaced about half of their leadership in mid-August. Check out this article published on August 20th. In 2025, a change of command took place across 6 regiments. Now, we researched, and look, I'm not a military buff, but we found that they have 12 regiments that are known of, and you're telling me that they gutted leadership of 6? They put in 6 new commanders? Again, I just don't love the timing of all of this. Initially, the idea of French involvement in Charlie's assassination would not have been on my radar, okay? Having them at UVU would not have been on my radar at all until we learned about that weird hangar lease in Delaware when we were trying to track the Egyptian plane, SUBTT, our yellow plane, which departed on the morning of Charlie Kirk's assassination from Provo, went over to Wilmington, Delaware. We learned that regarding that hangar, Satis, which is a French company, injected $1.5 million ostensibly to paint planes, okay, in Wilmington, Delaware. A lease that is way too short for that, whatever. And they sign off on that the very week that I get sent this cease and desist, despite the fact that I hadn't been speaking about Brigitte. It was just weird, coincidental timing. And it could be a coincidence.
Yeah. It's just at this point for me, I'm just sitting here like, if anybody thinks that Candace is making shit up at this point, you are a cog in the machine. You're an Israel first person. You are literally, I knew it was only a matter of time before we had that damn troll in here pretending that they're in the military with Trump with laser eyes looking like a demon. Talk about Candace is crazy. Listen to what she's saying. Why would she sit here and lie? She could get in so much. That's a felony. Oh, that's really cool, John. That is awesome. When she first came out on the scene, I loved her because obviously I was like, yes, a black woman saying what needs to be said, because obviously half my family's black. So I'm like, I was all over it. And then I thought she was becoming a establishment puppet. And it was looking that way. And I think it was because they were trying to buy her off, bribe her. And she was just in the beginning of stages, being a freshman on the, in this field and trying to figure out the ropes. And then eventually she realized, and she won me back. She really did. She has never been someone to make up stuff. She is not a liar. She always brings receipts. People are just so uncomfortable with her alphaness and her grace, because usually we see alpha black women being all like, and all this like fucking ratchet ghetto shit. She's poised. She's assertive. She's convicted. She's classy, but straightforward shit. The girl don't even cuss. But she can still hit just as hard as I can. Her and I have slightly different styles. I got a little bit more hot sauce sprinkled in mine, but I relate to this girl. That's the way, cause I feel like her and I could be friends, man. She'd be my homie. Only because she is a warrior for fucking truth. And that's just like, that's my shit. When you grow up in a cult and you've had to get away from that and you've had to let go of your entire family, all your friends, any job opportunity, every bit of education you've ever had, go out into an entire world, you're searching for truth. Truth. So I know it in a person when I see it. And that's a hungry for truth person. And she is not a liar.
But I'm going to now test your resolve at home regarding French coincidences, because for me, it's a little too much is what I'll say, okay? So we learned from a source that a foreign dignitary was escorted, right, from that hangar to 920 North King Street in Wilmington, Delaware, a place that we learned and confirmed had 3 federal agencies working together in one building. The internet can try to debunk that. They can't. Okay, the feds are not going to debunk that because it's true.
Right.
And then we learned that it is also a place which houses the attorneys that are filing my paperwork in the Brigitte lawsuit. I explained this. Delaware has a particular legal stipulation, and they sign off on that the very week that I get sent this cease and desist, despite the fact that I
was talking to you guys. I got to back up. I'm sorry, folks.
Initially, the idea of French involvement in Charlie's assassination would not have been on my radar, okay? Having them at UVU.
Kanoa, you bring up such an amazing point. You said, I wish she was crazy. I get exactly what you mean. I wish she was lying. Oh, there goes my light. She's telling the truth. She's being dead ass. That's my dad. I'm telling you, that's my dad. This happens in whatever room I'm in with whatever I'm talking about. If he wants me to, if he's telling me I'm right, I'm on the money, he starts flickering a light in the room. I swear to you. I swear this is what happens. You guys can see. Some of y'all on the Y shot could probably see. Oh no, because I don't have it on solo. That light right there will flicker when daddy's telling me you on the trail.
Would not have been on my radar at all until we learned about that weird hangar lease in Delaware. And we were trying to track the Egyptian plane, SUBTT, our yellow plane, which departed on the morning of Charlie Kirk's assassination from Provo, went over to Wilmington, Delaware. We learned that regarding that hangar, Satis, which is a French company, injected $1.5 million ostensibly to paint planes, in Wilmington, Delaware. A lease that is way too short for that, whatever. But they weren't actually sign off planes on that the very week that I get sent this cease and desist, despite the fact that I hadn't been speaking about Brigitte. It was just weird, coincidental timing. And it could be a coincidence, but I'm going to now test your resolve at home regarding French coincidences, because for me, it's a little too much is what I'll say, okay? So we learned from a source that a foreign dignitary was escorted, right, from that hangar to 920.
My opinion about Erica Kirk is that she looks all too excited to have this level of fame that she's been chasing for a really long time. And I've been following her background. She's been chasing fame for a while. And I know when it comes to assassinations, murder for hires, and things like that, it's always the people closest to you. At least the people closest to you that have the access to you and know your patterns, know where you're going to be, to give access to you. Now, who I really think had an actual hand in it that I think is blood guilty is Andrew Colvette. That is my opinion. I think Erica is just reaping the benefits because the word on the street was their marriage was a little rocky because of his realizations about Israel. I don't know how much of that is true. That's hilarious. You froze when you started talking about your dad. Oh, no. My Rumble feed, I've got 3 different feeds showing the stream from Rumble, and it's fine. I don't know why it's freezing. You know how the freaking the Wi-Fi be acting crazy.
North King Street in Wilmington, Delaware, a place that we learned and confirmed had 3 federal agencies working together in one building. The internet can try to debunk that. They can't. Okay, the feds are not going to debunk that because it's true.
Sand turkey pavement tape fucktardo. What a fucking username. Just said Erica is a woman. Don't trust that fact. Well, you've been around some bad women. You've got some mama issues apparently, because not all women are like that, baby. Some of us are real, too real. So you say that about a woman being too conniving, right? And I get it, because women are fucking, they got the crown for manipulation, because men only use one side of their brain at a time. Women use both. So yes, women are better at manipulation. However, I was raised by a pack of men. I'm not your traditional woman. So you could just stay with your sand turkey pavement tape fucktardo ass right here in my chat, because I'm a chick that you might find to be Kind of cool.
And then we learned that it is also a place which houses the attorneys that are filing my paperwork in the Brigitte lawsuit. I explained this. Delaware has a particular legal stipulation that even if you have your own lawyers, you have to find lawyers that will file the paperwork in your lawsuit. Okay,
Right.
The rules on
That's
that
also
vary
true.
state by state.
She's probably gonna have to represent herself. She's gonna have to find somebody that's going to have her back. Man, if I passed the bar, I would do it for her.
We then learned that Brigitte's lawyers in my lawsuit are directly across the street from that firm. Okay, confirmed.
Oh shit.
We're just warming up though, because the person that leaks that information about the dignitary being escorted, remember, that person never insinuated that the dignitary was French. But then after people on the internet pretended that he or she was lying about that information, they decided to conduct further investigation. They watched the episode and a light bulb goes off in their head because we're talking about Satis being French owned. And the person decided to follow up and explain to us that France has effectively been running the streets in Wilmington, Delaware since before the Revolutionary War. Okay. Let's just start with a very basic history
I didn't know that. All right, Candace. Come on, girl. Teach me something.
recap from this person's email. It all checks out. We don't need to get too deep in here regarding Wilmington, Delaware. He or she writes a short version of the history, which is all verifiable, is that North French Street is actually the northern stretch of the original French Street. Wilmington laid out the original French Street in the early 1700s as Willing Street in Thomas Willing's grid. In the 1790s, a large cluster of French-speaking refugees, many of which were fleeing Haiti and the French revolutions, settled along it, and the nickname French Street took over. This street ran all the way from the Christina River up through town and became a main hub for travel and business.
Ask Kyle Coley about that. I wonder what his family knows, because my son's father is Lebanese descent. His family's from Haiti, and they're Lebanese, so they have like literal like house servants and shit that wipe their asses and stuff. So they're kind of like big people down there in Haiti. I want to ask him about that. Interesting. He probably gonna get mad at me for mentioning him on this fucking show. This is my son's dad. My baby right there behind my shoulder. That's his daddy. Sorry, Kyle.
Wilmington is more French than people would initially assume, and it's easy to see this once you look at its history. The north tag of North French Street is a later addressing convention for blocks north of downtown. So that's just to back up there, okay? Now, again, we're going to have to go through this class very quickly. America, the whole idea of what we learn in class about, the Revolutionary War, and we were fighting because, we didn't, the monarchy, okay. England was not even under a monarchy at that time, okay? And also, I have learned in recent years that really the whole history of America is like warring factions of Freemasons. That's the reality. Warring factions of Freemasons competing for American territory. Now we're going to get into the substance of his email. He begins with something that is speculation that I'm not going to get too deep into, but essentially he says that across from 920 King, there is a red crane, and he's able to confirm that the French are absolutely involved in this somehow. I found direct U.S.-French alignment near 920 North King Street using structural aviation markers, financial lineage, corporate fronts, and historical French corridors. Now, he shows us that this is across from 920 North King, and it starts with a huge construction site. There's a huge construction site right across from there. And there's a long red crane that he points out. And I'm going to show you that crane right now because this person sent videos, because LOL to anybody who thought that we were being, that actually, I love it because it pissed him off.
She said LOL.
He's really on the ground here. You can see that crane up there. And that's just a reference point to what he's speaking about so that you can follow along here. That crane is situated on 1100 North King Street. Let's bring up the map here so you can see what's going on here, okay?
Okay, so remember this.
What I found on
this. Okay, y'all remember the video where I was showing you all the last video I had with her. I told you I was going to follow up, and as soon as she did another video, here it is. But these are all the government the agency residence buildings that the planes. Remember, went from Egypt to somewhere in Europe to Wilmington, which was right here. Then they went to Utah. Then they came back to right here. And that 920 North King Street, there's like FBI and CSS, basically residence buildings right there.
1100 1100 North King Street is big. The actual building is called the Brace Bridge Complex. It spans over 1 million square feet. It seems it was originally built for the Maryland Bank as their bank headquarters from 1995 until 2006 when Bank of America acquired it. But in 2018, remember that's going to be the year that Macron comes to power, Bank of America pulled out of a few of the buildings and they left it completely empty. Here is an article showing you that that is true and that Bank of America did in fact pull out of that building. It leaves the Wilmington office space empty. He or she goes on to write, so you might be wondering what happened after it was left vacant. Well, in 2024, legislation was passed which would provide financial support to the Longwood Foundation, a philanthropic nonprofit that was founded by Pierre S. DuPont to make it function as a quote-unquote educational center. There's just one problem with that. Pierre S. DuPont was a member of the French-American family DuPont, which was descended from Pierre Samuel DuPont de Nemours, excuse my terrible French, a French aristocrat. DuPont also has extreme ties to both the American and the French military. Obviously, we know that, as they are the original manufacturers of Kevlar, which has been historically regarded as the greatest way to make bulletproof armor. So now we have this prominent French family connected to this building. I think you're right to keep looking at French. People even shared concerns about what was actually happening at that building. There was a resident named Miriam Deed who said, quote, I just feel like I don't understand why we're doing this without there being more accountability. So in 2024, and we can show you that article, he's telling the truth. We're fact checking that. People were like, what's going on in this like massive, what is the accountability here with this massive complex? Okay. He goes on to say, as you can see, the complex covers 6 different buildings, all connected to both French Street. You can bring up that map, Chris, whenever, because I'm just going to keep speaking. All connected to both French Street and King Street. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, people on X, he goes on, who were trying to pretend that this was some prank, said the FBI is actually at 500 Delaware Avenue, right? And 500 Delaware Avenue is a couple of blocks over. We can show you that on the map as well. Can you pull up 500 North Delaware? And that is also somehow owned by France. Why is the FBI in that building? Who knows? But also having a division inside of this building is true. He says that 500 North Delaware.
Pfizer, you might want to refresh your page because when I was having trouble with that on one of my browsers that's got the feed up, I had to refresh because it goes through like this buffering thing where once the green line gets all the way to the end, it freezes and then buffers and then the green line starts over. So just saying that's what's been happening, at least from my end on the feed, Pfizer.
Avenue is a cover because guess what that building is? It's another bank center. This time, it's the Wilmington Savings Fund Society. In 1990, nearly all of Lower Delaware branches of WSFS were sold to Wilmington Trust, which was founded by T. Coleman DuPont, the French-American then president of DuPont, to manage the growing fortune of the French-American DuPont family. And guess where the Wilmington Trust is actually located? It's located at 1100 North Market Street, the building that is right next to 1100 North King Street.
Talking.
And both are on Rodney Square. So again, we're going back to that Rodney Square. Everything is French that's happening on Rodney Square. So they were using another bank as a cover. Doesn't actually disprove anything at all. What you'll also find if you keep researching is that a law firm, MG&M, moved to 500 Delaware Avenue just a few months before Charlie was assassinated. Now, that could be a coincidence, but MG&M and M has many employees that are either fluent in French or are connected to France altogether. The FBI apparently has Suite 300 and MGM has Suite 200, which I believe is exactly right below where the FBI says that they are. Okay. Now he gets back into the crane location, right? Because there seems to be no public record of what the actual construction project is that is happening online, except for the fact that apparently a global biopharmaceutical company called Insight owns it, okay? If they're using this construction site, it seems to me that they're doing it to buy time, because I actually know they're using it to buy time because they claim that it's construction in this article. On May 2024, they say that construction is expected to take about a year. Okay, well, it's been over a year. It's been about 2 years. And by the looks of it, the entire top of that building being a skeleton tells me that it's probably going to be a few years after that as well. This is clearly not taking about a year. Also, guess who the longtime CEO of that biopharmaceutical company Insight was? Hervé Hopno. And guess what? He is also French. He's not just French, but he is a French national.
Everything Epstein I warned about and said they're trying to distract from Epstein. When everyone talks Epstein, they're right over the target.
He seems to have just exited as the CEO, but he is still running the company under the role of advisor to the CEO. He is directly responsible for this construction at Bracebridge, and he was the one that finalized the deal. I find it very strange how he ran this company for more than a decade. Then for some reason, just a few months before Charlie's death, he decides to switch roles and to start laying low. Now, I'm not saying he's directly tied to anything. I'm just saying that these are all verifiable coincidences. Insight, that's the biopharmaceutical company that he runs, is also plugged directly into the federal medical supply chains, which include our VA systems that interface with military healthcare infrastructure. Okay. So to pull us all together, we have an entire French street that is connected to 920 North King Street, the aircraft hangar and its company Satis, which is French aligned, connected to 920 North King Street, DuPont, the French aligned, connected to 1100 North King Street, the biopharmaceutical company in
Pfizer. One thing I just did on one of the feeds is I actually hovered over the word live inside the actual video right there by the volume button and clicked it, and then the little circle turned into a red like live button, and now the green bar has just been refreshing on its own and I haven't had any trouble. So maybe that's what it is for you too. I don't know. This is a browser though, so I'm not sure.
Site, which is also French aligned, connected to 1100 North King Street, DuPont, which is connected to 1100 North Market Street. And then we have 1100 North King Street itself, which is connected to 920 North King Street. And we have my lawyers and we have Brigitte lawyers. I am not loving this. Okay. I'm just not loving the fact that I get a call from the federal government asking me to stop speaking about Brigitte.
Right.
And I think that it's kind of a funny story that'll one day be in my autobiography. Truly, that was my thought. Like, it's funny that we're on the phone talking about like the French, why is he married to somebody born a male? And I clearly was not thinking that there was maybe sort of an implicit threat involved here, like literally just stop speaking about her. And I really do wish, going back, that they had tried honesty, right? They had said, hey, Brigitte might be an asset to the Mossad, which is what we had received a tip regarding.
Jack, no lie. I told my husband, I think I'm going to buy a hookah set just for the shows. So that way I can get my little Nick fix without fucking utterly destroying my lungs like cigarettes or vape. So yeah, I know hookah's not really, I know the only thing that should go in your lungs is air. So just, I get it. But I just need something to keep my brain neurons firing. I need some nicotine while I'm on these shows, man. This sucks. I went all day. I swear, all day.
That we were working on. Confirming
Black Smoke
during
Thunder.
Brigitte,
oh my gosh, Honky Tonks
season
on
2.
Alive. Hey,
I wish
baby.
they had been more explicit and said, we really actually need you to shut up about this forever.
Mm-hmm.
I probably would have done it if they were just honest and said it's a national security issue. But instead they went with Emmanuel Macron's feelings are hurt.
Right. Like I said in the beginning of my monologue, just be fucking honest with us. we're Americans. We're actually a pretty understanding group of people. You literally get the least amount of persecution in our country. Our country is the best country to live in because of this. So just fucking be honest with us, and we'd probably feel exactly the way she just said. Oh, just tell me it's a matter of national security and I'll shut up.
Which I thought was LOL funny, and obviously wanted to continue to speak about this.
I don't know, John. Pound for pound, it's probably me. It's not him. So I come from political blood. We can talk about it later. My grandfather's uncle was the vice president of the United States. That bloodline on my dad's side defected from the Masons. Everything was taken from us. And because of the things that I fight for. So it's literally in my blood. Because as someone who's of Pictish descent on my dad's side, my ancestors fought with Wallace. We are ungovernable. We are untamable. We give me liberty or give me death. Freedom. Like Mel Gibson. Man, I can watch the end of that movie again, where he screams freedom at the end before he dies. Yeah, it's in my blood. But no, my husband is not as politically driven as me. No, he is just very much like me in the way of don't tell me what to do. I want freedom, but yeah, I'm the one that's like, yeah, John, I get it. Half my family is black. So my mom's side, obviously. That was another big thing when my dad married my mom, because when you're Masons, like their marriages are arranged. So when you're real ones, not like the brought in to go dap each other up at the meetings kind of Mason. I'm talking about the ones with spiritual talents and magical craft. That runs in my bloodline. I have it. My dad has it. I'm very, very spiritual. I'll leave it at that. That's why I fight. That's why I do this show. Y'all think the thirst trap's really because of oh, she just wants to be cute. No, it's really just a shtick. There is a lot going on. The weird niche things I was born into on both sides of my family. No, I'm a warrior that was meant to be loud and was meant to go to battle.
I don't even know what to make of this other than, and you can tell me if you agree, I feel like I was set up by the federal government in terms of this lawsuit. Like this wasn't just Brigitte and Emmanuel sitting down making a mistake by filing this national lawsuit, but rather federal agencies which may have been colluding and speaking to one another about how to put an end to my research into who Brigitte was, because all of these governments are implicated. And by all of them, I mean France, the United States, and Israel implicated in whatever the hell Jean-Michel Trogneau was up to during the missing years of his life when he was in the military and on its surface in America. Because Brigitte says he was in America. We know Brigitte was in America in the 60s, at least for the moon landing. No details provided about what Brigitte was doing when he experienced the moon landing with Americans. I'm not getting the feeling that Jean-Michel Trogneau was just chilling at his aunt's house, okay? That was a psychological operation. I'm pretty convinced that Brigitte Macron has been involved on the basis of my lawsuit and the mentioning of MK Ultra 18 times absurdly in my lawsuit, even though all we said was, hey, Brigitte's fake birthday happens to be the same day as the MK Ultra program. I'm thinking there might be something there. Like Brigitte is involved.
Because nothing is a motherfucking coincidence, folks. That's all Candace said. And then the Macrons mentioned MK Ultra 18 times in the lawsuit.
In the military file, Jean-Michel Trogneau is involved in psychological operations, okay? And I should also mention to you that the second largest shareholder for Satis is Israel. Yeah, it's an Israeli firm based in Tel Aviv called Ace Partners. They are explicit. They only invest in companies and organizations that benefit Israel. That's like on their website. This is why we exist. Our mission with Ace is clear: to identify, invest in, and support the most promising startups that will shape the future of aerospace and defense technology. So it's military. And we focus predominantly on companies in their Series A and B funding rounds across aerospace and defense verticals. Our investments are global with a specific focus on Israel. So I'm not being anti-Semitic. That's what Ace Partners does. They are the second largest shareholder to Satis. Why is Israel interested in this hangar in Wilmington, Delaware? You guys? And in case you don't think that we've really hit peak, what the hell is going on? Literally, what from the gates of hell is Brigitte Macron? Okay? In case you're not
man. Remember Cardi B? Remember the video where she was like, tell me what's the reason? Tell me what is the reason? What is the reason? What is the reason? Yeah. Just want to say that.
there yet. Let me tell you that just to make myself feel good, I said, let me just confirm where Brigitte Macron was on 9/10. That feels like a very easy thing to do. Like, yeah, this is the first lady, man of France. It's a pretty busy season everywhere. We're talking early September. It's back to school. There's a lot going on. And I was very comforted to see that Brigitte Macron had opened Paris Design Week. Makes sense, right? Opened Paris Design Week on, I believe, September 4th. Very public, gets kind of photographed with the culture, the Ministry of Culture lady, right? The head of their Ministry of Culture and actual lady. And then Brigitte Macron gets photographed on 9/4 with Zelensky. Zelensky's coming in for a big interstate meeting. And Brigitte Macron sees to it that he's also photographed with Saudi Arabia at some orchestra that Saudi Arabia is putting on. And what's interesting is that it's daytime when that photograph happens. And then after that, Brigitte just falls off a cliff for 6 days. Brigitte's just gone for 6 days. And I would really like to know where Brigitte Macron was at for those 6 days, okay? I need to confirm that. I need internet sleuths like you have never seen before. Where was Brigitte Macron on the dates that Egyptian plane was from 9/4 through to 9/11? Where was Brigitte Macron? I would just like to know. I need to know where Brigitte Macron was, and I think an answer to that question is due. It would just comfort me to know. So I'm asking you guys for help determining the answer to that. I could go on, by the way. Wilmington, Delaware, also being the hub for MK Ultra is especially sweet. The email that we got that it's also the hub for transgenderism in America. Like, who knew that? I certainly didn't. Our first ever trans congressman, you guys, guess where? Wilmington, Delaware, that congressional district. A bunch of trans surgeries for children, drag time story hour. Like, they're kind of leading America in the trans stuff. I could go on and on and on about what goes on in Wilmington, Delaware, but I think that's probably enough for right now. So let's take a brief break and we'll come back. All right, you guys, when they double down on abortion, we have to double down on support.
We can't watch our ad. What are y'all thinking? I mean, to me, it looks pretty freaking obvious, honestly. To me, it looks very obvious. I think
Supporting life.
One thing she's got to do is just be patient. I know that's hard. Patience is literally my worst quality. I don't have patience. I'm so bad at patience. I understand her so much. Interesting in the chat, John. Yeah, kind of funny, right? I have so many Johns that frequent my page, and that's no pun intended because they're literally, your names are Johns. My middle name is Johnny. My dad's name was John, and every man in his family's name was John. only via the firstborn sons, and the rest of the sons were obviously didn't name their kids John. But so my dad he had a firstborn, me, wasn't a boy that he was hoping for, so he gave me his name as my middle name. And my aunt named her firstborn John, and so it was the firstborn son and the firstborn daughter in my dad's family that named their kids after their dad, and then his dad's name was John, and his uncle's name was John, who was the vice president. So everyone got the name John after that. Yes, the Jews want to destroy our society. Absolutely. They want to take over the entire fucking world. That is what the Talmud has them doing. And they view everyone that's not a Jew as beasts. Right? Interesting, right? I think we have a lot of cleaning house to do. I sometimes think about it and just get kind of like almost sad. It's like, wow, man, we're never going to get this done. But then I have to remember that this is a spiritual war and that it's all in the divine's hands. And we all just need to do our part. We all need to play our part. You know, we're not zombies. We're not asleep spiritually. We see something is wrong, so we're saying something's wrong. And we need to get these fucking perverted, disgusting people out of office, and we need to take it over. We, the people, need to forcefully start taking our government back. Yes, John is the name of the apostle that Jesus gave revelation to. Yes, you are right. No, I mean, what we're talking about when we say the Jews is we're talking about Zionists. We're talking about even the Jewish religion. I'm not down with the Muslim religion, and I am not down with the Judeo religion. If you actually read what their religions promote, it's an extreme cultiness, and it completely denounces any other human being as being protected or loved by God. And it is literally, I'm just going to say, thank the motherfucking Lord Jesus Christ I was born in America. Thank you, the divine, and thank you, the Lord Jesus Christ, that I was born here. This is the best motherfucking country you could be born in. I am so grateful I am not born in any of that other bullshit. Even though we have a mess going on here, I'm still grateful that we're here because we're so far ahead of the 8 ball when it comes to safety and comfort. John 4:13, very nice. Yeah, so Satan, the devil, really is got a stronghold in the government of this world. If it wasn't his to give, he couldn't have given Jesus all 7 kingdoms of the earth and offered that to him during his 40-day fast before he died. He couldn't have done it if it wasn't his to give. So we absolutely know what's going on in government right now. But we do know that God puts angels within the cavern of the beast to help protect his children. You know, Mike says, amen, sister. I really am so grateful for y'all's support, because without you guys, this wouldn't be a thing. That's why we're here talking about it, John. We're trying to talk about it. I'm trying to talk about it in a public space, so that way all the laymen can feel a little bit more educated on this topic, you know? And yes, TY, we love fucking Donald Trump. We fucking love Donald Trump. And we paid for the Iron Dome. Gee, I wonder why. Right. Trump, did you know we didn't even have Iron Domes installed in our own country until Trump's second cycle? Until he got back in office now? Isn't that fucking wild to think about?
Person whose email that I just read that made me aware that Wilmington, Delaware is just very French. This person writes to me, hey, you should also know that area is transgendered central. There are 5 different Nemo children.
Oh, really? TY, you think that I'm dumb? You think I'm dumb because I have an opinion politically that Israel should not be involved in our politics? There's a difference between being an ally and starting fake wars and creating fake terrorist cells and starting wars to get more money from the American people. I'm not down with that bullshit. Mr. TY39661. Anyone want to go to his profile and see who that is? I wonder who that is. That sounds like a Zionist is in my fucking chat. Oh, yeah, definitely is one because he just said, I said you're cute, ma'am. All cute girls are dumb. What, you think I'm supposed to say, oh, never mind, thank you? I'm not fucking cute. I'm motherfucking gorgeous and I'm smart as motherfucking shit. That's why I'm here and you're there. So, no. I don't know what you fucking think, but you definitely are because if you're fucking Zionist, because you just said all cute girls are dumb. You think I'm a goyim. You're talking to me like you think I'm a goy. Well, guess what? The fucking joke's on you. You know why? Because God fucking turned his back on you guys. Even your Jews out in Israel are using the phone, breaking away from their religious norms and getting on the phone and putting out videos to show how you Zionists do not represent the Judeo belief system. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's so funny. Aw, you're so cute. You would actually like my sandwiches. You would. I have a feeling you would. I also have a feeling you would like to wear. I think you would like, TY, I think you'd like how I looked. I think you would like how you look in my dress, too. No, Jesus wasn't a Jew. Jesus was actually Palestinian if you really actually want to do the research. The Jews betrayed Jesus. They turned their back on him. But whatever. You know, the Jews want Christians to support them so hardcore because they expect that we forget that they murdered our Savior, you know, but we're supposed to remember they were in the Holocaust. We can't say anything because of the Holocaust. We can't say anything true and factual about the Jews because of the Holocaust. So we can't talk about how they fucking handed over our Lord and Savior to the Romans and backstabbed their citizen. Hilarious. No, he wasn't. He wasn't. That's what the cult of Catholicism and Judeo-Christianity wants you to believe. They want you to believe that Jesus was a Jew. They want you to believe that, and the Jews want you to believe that so they can claim, you know, more credibility over the backstabbing thing. You know, they killed our Lord and Savior, so you will never see me flying an Israeli flag. So there's that. You know. Oh, no, it's fine. I'm only feeding him for a few minutes just because it's fun. And then I move on in my show. I was literally just about to move on when you sent that message, John. No, I was entertaining him because it was just fun for me. It's just fun to get a little sassy sometimes, right? I knew it was about right on cue for the Zionists to start getting in my shit because my profile has had about 2 million views steady now for 6 weeks. Yeah.
Children hospital centers nearby. Yes, they perform transgender surgeries, or yes, they do transgender rather.
Thanks, Willie.
Nemours children's hospitals are named for Nemours, France, the home of the DuPont family. Hotel DuPont is obviously walking distance from 920 King. First and Central Presbyterian Church is an LGBTQ church that is across from that hotel. Cab Calloway School is a short 10-minute drive, and this is where our transgendered Congressman McBride graduated from.
Thank you, Henry.
Theater is a 5-minute walk. They feature transgendered productions with a drag show at least every month. The Queen is an 8-minute walk. They are advertising Disney drag brunches. 20 minutes back toward the airport, you will find a multitude of plastic surgeons.
Oh, you can't see
and then they list them. Wilmington University is nearby, where they offer LGBTQ programs for kids, and Transition Delaware LLC, which offers counseling and etc., has 2 locations, and then they list them. So it's a lot of transgenderism happening in that.
Oh, Mike, I never said the Holocaust didn't happen. What I was saying was, it's funny, they always remind us about the Holocaust, but they never want to talk about how they killed our Lord and Savior, and they keep trying to make Christians their allies. Just saying. Just saying. I'm speaking religiously. Whoops. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Do y'all remember where I was at? I think it was right. Do you remember where I was at? I accidentally clicked. Somebody tell me what marker I was at. I know. I need to know what marker I was at. I accidentally clicked this. 45? Okay, we'll go to 43.
In, and this is another tip not related to the person whose email that I just read that made me aware that Wilmington, Delaware is just very French. This person writes to me, hey, you should also know that area is transgendered central.
Geez.
There are 5 different Nemours children hospital centers nearby. Yes, they perform transgender surgeries, or yes, they do transgender.
Oh no, Mike, you're absolutely right. It wasn't 6 million Jews. 6 million was the total number because they actually killed gypsies. They killed Jehovah's Witnesses. The Jehovah's Witnesses wore a purple triangle on the clothes in the concentration camps. There were like 5 different groups that were being genocided. But you know, we only talk about the Jews.
Rather, Nemours Children's hospitals are named for Nemours, France, the home of the DuPont family. Hotel DuPont is obviously walking distance from 920 King. First and Central Presbyterian Church is an LGBTQ church that is across from that hotel. Cab Calloway School is a short 10-minute drive, and this is where our transgendered Congressman McBride graduated from. Theater is a 5-minute walk.
Oh,
they
Nick
feature
Bride,
transgendered productions with a drag show at least every month. The Queen is an 8-minute walk. They are advertising Disney drag brunches. 20 minutes back toward the airport, you will find a multitude of plastic surgeons. And then they list them. Wilmington University is nearby, where they offer
now we know why
LGBTQ programs for kids and
Macron looks like E.T. Don't go there, folks.
Transition Delaware LLC, which offers counseling and etc., has 2 locations, and then they list them. So it's a lot of transgenderism happening in that area, which is of interest to me. I just started a poll, by the way. We are live on YouTube. I asked a very simple question. Do you think that this lawsuit was an operation against me? That it was meant to bankrupt me? Because options when the federal government is feeling...
Ooh, John's preaching in the chat. Christianity is above the physical. It says walk in the spirit, not the flesh. Bam. Meaning Christianity has dominance over the Israeli government. Boom. This is about connecting with the kingdom of God within you. That's what Christianity is about. It is not about sacrifice. It is not about religious, repetitive incantations, penance, and prayers, spells, and rituals. It is about free-flowing thought between you and the divine.
Squeezed is to kill you. It's warfare, or it's like mental warfare. They put you in a hospital.
No, because being a Jew is a religion. Jesus was genetically from the Palestinian area. His spirituality was very much closer to that of Wiccans, if you actually read the Bible. He wasn't Jewish.
And say you're crazy and drug you, and like they did to Britney Spears, like they did to Kanye West, or they bankrupt you, right? That's also one of the mechanisms. Do you guys think that this entire thing was a trap because I didn't shut up about Brigitte, and that the federal government knew that it was coming, which would explain why they never commented on the absurdity of a foreign nation coming after our speech? They are not acting right, right? Common sense. You say you care to protect free speech. Why wouldn't you comment on something that involves a foreign leader that is infringing upon the speech of Americans, even if I had made up something about Brigitte, which I did not? So we're going to run that poll until the end of this show, which is coming much sooner than I anticipated. We're not going to get to everything today. Don't worry.
I'm not wrong. I'm just not talking about it from the subtext that you're talking about it from. You're talking about it from an ethnicity. I'm talking about religion and spirituality, TY. And this is the last time I'm addressing you in the chat because you're actually being annoying and you're being distracting and you're being stupid because you know exactly what I'm saying. So shut the fuck up and let me do my show.
I have more for you tomorrow. Like I said, it's going to be a long week. I do want to get to this commentary because I honestly don't even understand what is happening to PBD's show, which I very much used to enjoy. I see clips floating around, so you know it's not fair to paint with a broad.
And in fact, the Bible talks about the Jews in the terms of the Hebrews, in terms of ethnicity. So I don't really talk when it comes to all this stuff. I talk in spiritual terms, in biblical terms. I don't really get into like all of this bullshit.
Brush, but a broad stroke. But I will say that Adam Sosnick is reaching levels of absurdity here, rather than at all trying to prod the narrative of whether or not there was actually an assassination attempt on my life. He decides to respond to this allegation by saying that I have no famous friends. I kid you not. This is the level of insincerity that you can almost say it's laughable at this moment of people that are engaged in the sport of politics. Take a listen to what Adam Sosnick had to say on Patrick Bet-David's podcast.
Disgusting thing. Forget about what she said about Israel and Jews and BLM and liberals. This is friendship stuff. This is friendship stuff. The most valuable currency you have are the relationships you have, your friends. In my opinion, she's burned every bridge she's ever been associated with. Whether that's Turning Point USA, whether that's the Daily Wire, whether that's PragerU.
Those aren't friends. Those are companies. And how the fuck does this guy know who her friends are?
Charlie Kirk, Steven Crowder. I don't know what's going on even in this room, but it's not like we're loving what she's doing these days. I'm asking you a serious question.
That's because you're a cog in the machine that is like fucking trying to make America Israel's bitch. Shut up.
Who are her friends at this point?
Well,
to
I
me,
do
she's
think
very
has
lonely.
friends. No, I think she's very close with Tucker. I do think she has a group
How many
of
more
friends.
can you name, though? Other than Tucker,
yeah.
Genuine question. I'm not trying to throw her under the bus. Who's Candace's friends? Who are her allies?
Hey, AJ.
Can we name a name? Anyone?
Oh,
Anyone?
she's got
here.
more than you would believe.
Name a name.
No, she's got a lot of them.
I'm sure that there's
She does.
Twitter army out there.
Yeah,
but what famous names advocates are saying, I'm with Candace? Tucker, maybe? Who else?
No,
I can't name one.
He's so.
It's just, I want to guys just, because we got to all wake up to this matrix, okay?
Oh,
First
she's using
and
the
foremost,
terms,
nothing
y'all.
he's saying
She's
is
using
true.
the
The first thing I'd
terms.
like to clarify is I have never
waking up.
been friends with Steven Crowder. I just feel like that is really not good dirt to throw on my name. I just have better intuition than that. Secondly, my friend Charlie Kirk just got shot in the neck, hence the reason we're doing this entire podcast investigation into what actually happened on that day. Now, you seem to be naming employers regarding the Daily Wire.
I hope to God if something were to ever happen to me like that and it didn't look right, that's my friends would be just as vigilant and diligent and determined as her to find out the truth. Go you, Candace. I don't care who thinks you're crazy. If you feel like something is off with your friend, you do what you do, baby.
I am still friends with every single one of my colleagues that I was friends when I went in there. And
I
yeah,
don't
when
like
you
Mikey
leave a job,
McCoy.
you don't tend to hang out with management on your way out. So I'm not sure what you're referencing here. If you mean that I am not one of those basic bitches who needs to post every second of when I'm hanging out with people so that people think that I'm cool and I'm surrounded by individuals, you would be right. Because I'm a person who grew up on Kanye West's music. And it's so funny that I was blasting his early music, one of his first songs, All Falls Down, and he speaks about this. This is how they create the matrix. Insecure men speak like that, okay? They want people who are insecure
Like this guy
to
in the
allow
chat.
terrible things to happen because they say, well, you can hang out with me You can hang out. All you have to do is just not talk about the Epstein files, and you might get invited to Mar-a-Lago. Don't you want to be
Exactly,
invited to
AJ.
Mar-a-Lago?
It's
Don't
fucking
you want to go to
TYA.
Mar-a-Lago? Then why don't you look away when we talk about children being abused? It's so weird. Like, don't you want to have like really all of the invites to Mar-a-Lago, and you can hang out, you can get dressed up and hang out with cool people in Hollywood if you just look the other way when children are being abused? This is that
Right.
mentality, okay?
Yes.
It's disgusting, it's gross, but more importantly, it is insecure. So I want to remind you guys that your
much.
real friends do not need to be famous, okay?
There
My
you
best friends
go.
are not famous, and you should be close with your family. You should have real
What a
value in
statement that was that he made. Like, oh, look, all her friends. And then he goes and names like all these famous shows. They weren't even people, they were companies. It's like, what the fuck? Those are just people trying to make sure they're a cog in the machine that's been given orders to go put this message out to make sure people believe Candace is crazy because she's telling the truth and we're going to get caught. So I need you, and you, who I've sponsored, given money to, had at this cool party, gave this hot girl to, whatever. I need you, my little minions, to go put out this message because you owe me. That's what that video was with that guy saying about her friends.
your life. Part of the matrix requires you to have this sort of instinct to think celebrities are cool and that they glitter and they're golden. The majority of them are pretty effed up and drunk. That's the reality. No, and by the way, on the subject of who the kind of people that he's referring to, it was notoriously Eric Bowling
Exactly, AJ.
that sat across from Adam when they attacked me over Charlie Kirk and lied and said that I hadn't been friends with Charlie Kirk since 2017. After that episode, Eric Bowling sent me an email and apologized and said it was Adam's fault. And he didn't even know Adam's name. I think he called him Sam in the email. I should actually pull it and I'll post it on Instagram. Didn't even know, threw Adam and PBD's entire team under the bus in 3 seconds and said, I just want to apologize with you, Candace, because that's how politics work. They all stab each other in the back, and they all do it because they think they're on the pursuit of like fame and riches. We are not going to save the West in general from the absolute sexual deviants that run it, the liars and the crooks that run the West, if we have the attitude that we need to be well liked by famous people who are all drunk. Truly, they are just a bunch of drunks hanging out in DC.
The way
That's the
she
reality
said
of
that, who are all drunk. Like the way her look on her face, she's seen it. She's seen it all. That was a genuine face.
Political field, get real value in your life. And that's what I want to say about that before I get into some of your questions. Poll is still running, by the way. I will tell you the total
I love her, man.
when we
God,
come
man,
back
she's such
from this brief
inspiration.
break.
She's so fierce.
All right.
She is not letting anybody fucking get to her. I wouldn't be either if someone freaking threatened my life. Y'all best believe I'd be talking about it all day. I would be on live all day. Y'all will have to watch me get murdered. Like, that's where I would be at. Because there's no way. TY, I might. Because he actually has a brain cell. You just in here trying to be rowdy. And you look retarded, honestly. You think you're being funny, but nobody's fucking laughing. Honestly. You're making them annoyed. And I think you... to sit here and watch people that actually gain gratification from being like this is really kind of one of the saddest parts about social media is you see psychopathic people, mentally unstable people feed every impulse through the screen because you can't see their face. And to know that there are people behind a screen that are sitting there literally coming in a rag over your reactions to them being mean is literally why we need to have a fucking revolution. Because I think there's a lot of people here on this planet that do not deserve to be breathing air. Because your hearts are disgusting and vile and green and toxic. Like the fact that you sit there on the other end of your phone coming in a rag over the way you're talking to the people in my chat makes you literally I can see what you look like. You're fat and you're disgusting because those are the only type of people that get on here and act like that. People that are really angry at the world because they don't want to turn their anger inward at themselves and fix the grossness about themselves. That they want to get online and be little and get online and serve this addiction of being angry at everyone else for their own shortcomings. It's really like quite fascinating as a psychologist. You know what I'm saying? It's really quite fascinating. Like, just the response, excuse me, ma'am, I only come in white bitches respectfully. Like, the psychological unwellness. Like, one, you're not trying to be funny because it just wasn't funny. And if you were trying to be funny, it just isn't, and no one's laughing. So that leads me to believe, since you think you're being funny and it isn't funny, but you're convinced it is, you're mentally unwell. And like, it's quite a spectacle. It's like being at the zoo. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you're the kind of person that really would freak the fuck out if civil war actually broke out because of the way you behave online. Like, this is la la land for you. This is imaginary land for you. This isn't real to you, what you're doing. When real fucking shit, when shit gets fucking real, you're gonna shit a brick because your words aren't going to be able to like get you out of the physical mess that we're headed in. So I suggest you maybe spend time learning how to survive, learning how to be on the right side of the fight instead of trying to perfect your troll skills. DL Stoffer. Read the chat, DL. Read the chat. Oh, you're British? Well, that confirms you're a weak beta bitch because look at what happened to your fucking country. You guys are under more social oppression and communism. If America were to have that shit going on here that they have in Britain, oh, you'd best believe there'd be a civil war going on already. We would not tolerate what you guys are tolerating. You guys have no balls, to be quite honest. You could learn from the American men in my chat who are starting to turn their attention towards you because you're quite a pansy, especially knowing now that you're British. You're biracial and British. You know what I find the most unattractive are mulatto British men. They think they're God's gift to women. But I'll take an American cowboy any color, any day, over one of you fucking Brits that allow that fucking socialist, communist garbage. All you men in Britain that's allowed all this, shame on you. Shame on all of you if you haven't caught a charge for trying to stand up to that shit in your country. Because us Americans over here, if we're called to the line, we'll catch a motherfucking charge if it means stopping fucking socialism and communism. You best motherfucking believe. So my dear Mr. T.Y., you are in the company of warriors. You are in the company of warriors. Yeah, you ain't wrong, Mr. T.Y. Detroit is full of a bunch of fucking chimps. That's why Daddy Trump is sending in the fucking military to clean up that motherfucking shit. So, yeah. DL says, I'm from Kansas, just saying. All right, baby. Corn-fed Midwesterner. Lots of Viking descent out there. And you military, salute. Thank you for your service. Yeah, these British men are fucking pussies. Who said you're American, you're a border hopper? Oh, look at that, boys. And he's racist. What makes you think I'm a border hopper? I want you to tell me why you think I'm an illegal American, an illegal immigrant, TY. I want you to, you think I'm Mexican. Mexican. When have you ever seen a yellow Mexican? This is hilarious. You really have me entertaining. That's for sure. AJ said, Jesus, keep talking. You're getting me hard. This TY guy in real life with his stupid little fucking pretty boy shit with his accent. Oh, I'm from Britain. I've got a British accent. That means you must be wetting your panties for me because I'm mulatto and I'm British, so your panties must be wet. No, boy. No. The West is where it's at. What a snot. All right, let's get moving.
All right, you guys, I want to remind you about Pure Talk. In all the time that I have been endorsing my wireless company, Pure Talk, I've never seen an offer like this. Right now, you can get unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data with a 30 gig hotspot for just $29.95 a month for life. This is Pure Talk's top tier plan, which is normally $65 a month. Right now, through December 7th, you can get all of this for just $29.95 a month. You're saving over 50% a month, every month for life. And it's all on their crazy fast 5G network. But this offer is extremely short-lived, of course, so do not wait. Go to puretalk.com/Owens for Pure Talk's best unlimited plan for just $29.95 a month for life. Make this gut instinct of me
Whoopsie, I was
of why
spacing
the
out.
heck did they sue in Delaware? What is this never-before-seen lawsuit? It is a consequence from the Matrix for me discussing a multinational state secret, which is Brigitte Macron. Brigitte Macron's true origins, what Brigitte Macron was involved.
TY, I'm married. That's how I acquired the Lopez last name. So, you're a racist.
In the United States.
Look at my face. You can very clearly see I'm not fucking Mexican.
States while living as Jean-Michel Trogneau. And by the way, I think there's another identity in between there that happens potentially in the 80s for Brigitte before he emerges as a woman. And I think it's quite dark, whatever that secret is, to be honest with you. But we had kind of gotten sidetracked on becoming Brigitte, and we should maybe get back involved in it. Anyways.
Oh, no wonder we're dueling, because I'm half Trinidadian. My mother's from Trinidad. I was born here in America, but my mom's a Trinidadian. You get a fucking Trinidadian and a Jamaican in a room? Yeah, they're either going to be best friends or mortal enemies.
Into the top comment from the last episode, and Skylar, just let me know when you have that email ready. This was from Knit Unravel wrote, how did Andrew Colvett know that it was supposed to be Candace if the killer is Tyler Robinson? That was actually something that I had never considered. I told you guys that Andrew Colvett called me from the hospital and basically said you and Tucker.
I'm just going to say it. I've never met a Jamaican that isn't a fucking slut. And every time I've ever been to Jamaica, it's nothing but fucking dicks everywhere. You guys fucking worship the penis. It's so homo. It's so gay. Like major fag alert. Just saying.
Should shut up because you guys are on a list. What list? Nobody mentioned that Tyler Robinson had a list. And certainly if he's killing over the topic of transgenderism, I don't think me and Tucker would be high on it. So yeah, what are we speaking about? If this was a lone shooter and just a random incident because he was defending his lover, how is there a list? What was that list that was happening behind the scenes? It's almost like Tucker and I were being threatened from the United States military. And I should really say the global state military.
Oh, I know you are. It's in your genetics. Because in Jamaica, like all other islands where everyone is practically related, this is how genetics works. Everyone's practically cousins. And then you have a genetic pool that is not very wide. So you get a set of behaviors that is basically built into
because
the
I do
DNA
believe that we are run by the military.
Of you guys, right? To be oversexed. You, the Haitians, you're oversexed because you won't breed out. You won't leave your islands and breed with other people. You keep breeding with the same amount of people over and over and over. You're all going to be related, and your good qualities and your bad qualities are all going to be emphasized because you keep doubling up on all the same genes, and that's one of the genes. You guys are fucking oversexed. Them, the Haitians, the Dominicans. I can't be around that crowd, especially if there's men around. They act like a bunch of horny dogs, and it's disgusting and gross. I like America, and that's where I'm staying. I like American values, nice American culture, respect for women. It's kind of like a thing.
And that the idea of democracy is an utter delusion. Now, okay, great. We have the email just to fact check this because it's funny, and we should now call him Alex for the rest of our lives. Eric wrote, hey man, this was an email, by the way, to my PR. tell Candace I meant no harm to her. It was that Alex guy who kept at it. He tried to corner me and he found out. If she wants to talk, I'll call her. If not, no worries. I've lost too many people in my life to get too emotional about these things. I've always respected CO. That moment got blown out of proportion. Anyway, I remain. And my message back was, keep that same energy. You went onto a podcast. You lied about my relationship with Charlie right after he died, when I was still reeling from so many emotions. I was then being attacked and lied about a very real relationship that I had in my life. And you're just going to privately email this little sucker apology. Keep the same energy. Do it publicly. Say I lied or I misspoke, whichever it is. He's not done that. He's not moved to do that. I don't believe he did. At least it wasn't sent to us. And he calls, he throws that guy Alex or whatever who wouldn't stop talking. So that's him. He's just Alex who won't stop talking on the PBD podcast because his only mission in life is to defend Zionism, to defend Zionists, and to attack people who don't like what Israel is doing, which is virtually everybody.
There
at
you
this
go.
point. So, anyways,
And
I
there you
think
have it.
we are just so over time that I don't know that we're gonna have too much space here for comments, and we have so much to cover this week. I'll read a couple of these. Mickey Shaw writes, "We wrestle not against flesh and blood. We fear no man. Candace is our champion. Jesus is our king." Bless you. And that is true. We just have to commit ourselves to truth. And like I said, I sense an urgency right now. They are being so evil in our faces. They chose to publicly execute Charlie and then to dare us to question the narrative. That's scary. That is.
Yes,
it's
it
meant
is.
to scare you
Yes, it
and
is.
to instill fear in you. And the response to this, of course, has to be more truth. We cannot be fearful. We have to keep telling the truth. Fegliano writes, "These elites are horror show cruel. I am understanding in a way that I didn't before why people believe in God. In the face of this, it provides meaning and comfort available from little else. Shame on officials everywhere who disregard morality, especially the powerful ones. Also, Nick, stop being so ignorant. It's annoying." Genevieve writes, "Candace, you are my personal hero. Go Max." 6-7 writes, "Candace is based. Blessed Butterfly Girl" writes, Jeremiah 1:7-8, "Don't be afraid to speak." And also Corinthians 3:17, "Where God is, there is liberty." Absolutely. And that is why, I'm putting the information out there. I think people need to know that this is how things are planned. There's nothing that makes sense about what happened on that day. And when you speak to the UVU students, the fact that they didn't recognize anybody indicates that we might be looking at military regiments that were there. And from the information that I am getting, which I'm going to explain later this week, I think there were some National Guard regiments that were there, some French foreign legionnaires that were there, and yes, some Israelis that were there, hence the 12 Israeli cell phones.
In my life.
And that information is all going to come to light. Like I said to you from the beginning, I never had for a single second the sense that they were going to get away with it this time. I felt the devil had overplayed his hand. And
I think
that
she's
is
right.
the circumstance. We are seeing that. I think Brigitte overplayed his hand. I think Jean-Michel Trogneau, the evidence is pointing to the fact that he is from
right.
a very powerful
This is,
old
fucked up.
family.
Right here.
That's pretty obvious to me. The entire Trogneau backstory makes entirely no sense, saying that they were chocolatiers and things were never interrupted. They just ran this chocolatier factory from like the 1880s all the way through to now. Not possible. Nazis did an aerial bombardment. They occupied the city of Amiens. This seems to me to be an identity that was just created and materialized for this family, and that the true family is a very powerful family, and that is why they are so obsessed with protecting this absurd state secret. The whole world knows this is a dude. What are we doing here? And they are willing to go mask down and to expose themselves to keep up this pretense, to keep pretending that it's a woman. Why did Jean-Michel?
Because they're trying to cover up his crimes. They're trying to cover his crimes.
Have to transition, quote unquote, transition into a woman. What was Jean-Michel Trogneau involved in that required that transition?
Right.
These are now the questions that I'm asking myself. And you know what? If the federal government is going to bankrupt us for telling the truth, then I'm going to have to be the example for the world to wake up to that, okay? Then even this lawsuit in a weird way is blessed because it is exposing every layer of corruption that exists, that even when you do things the right way your entire life, when you don't commit any crimes, when you do the right thing and you find someone that loves you, you get married, you have children, that you will be attacked for surviving the matrix and committing yourself to truth, that feels like a very important lesson for the entire world to wake up to. And I think the entire world is waking up to that right now. So you know what? Joke's on you. You will be hoisted by your own petard. And we will end with that French expression. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Okay. And there you have it, folks. Mike just said, Luna, did you see the post Candace made today about the false flag coming up here in the next few weeks? Sorry if you did. I was working and in and out of your show. Was it an X post? Because now, look what I can do. Oh, no. I don't want to be in this mode. I could do this. I could Google now for you guys. So let's see. Mike saying false flag coming over. Give me something. Give me how would I find this, Mike? TY really sounds like he's probably my brother-in-law because his jokes are really fucking bad and my brother-in-law fucking hates me, and this sounds like my fucking brother-in-law's stupid jokes. He's not funny. He steals all his jokes from my husband. Oh, he said, yay, you're not dumb. Let me see. Tide dye LGB. Sorry about the UK. It was on X. Okay. Oh, dang. You guys gotta grab. You guys gotta grab screenshots of shit. You know what I'm saying? This is the reason why. This is the reason. This is the reason. Well, I am watching her very closely, so we will see. I mean, I believe her 100%. Anybody else that says she's crazy is either just doesn't know how to do their own research and just follows their preferred political party and all of the influencers that the political party thinks are cool, or they're a part of the machine. And I'm here to fucking break the damn machine. Willie says, I'm here for the manicured brows and shit talk. Hey, you know what? If that's what you're here for too, that's cool. I mean, I'm down for some shit talk. I'm not. Look, when it's warranted, because honestly, really, the real me is very much a loving, sweet hippie. And I really don't like to have to throw down. But I most definitely fucking will. I will just say, what's happening right now? That's not what we're talking about. What does she mean that's a false flag? Because that's not a false flag. I already reviewed that. The Project Veritas. Mike, if you're talking about the Project Veritas, I did review that on this show tonight, but I don't think that that's what you're talking about, because that is still up and that hasn't been deleted. We believe you, Tyra. It's true, and it blooped out. I'm here for the manicure. Yeah. You're funny. AJ, we know why you're here. We definitely know. Mr. Rip says, young lady, your makeup is always perfect. I like your message. Well, thank you. And I'm glad you're here to hear me close out my show. I'm going to read my opening monologue one more time after watching this Candace Owens video, because I think we need to have this reminder. Not once, but twice. America deserves answers, not silence. Ladies and gentlemen, we've hit the end of my show. Tonight, we didn't talk about policy, polls or petty DC drama. We talked about something deeper, something older, something that's been poisoning the foundation of this republic since the day politicians realized that they could hide behind curtains. We're talking about cover-ups, stone walls, and silence. In America, we're tired of it. We're tired of watching powerful people dodge accountability while the rest of us are lectured about trusting the system. We're tired of investigations that go nowhere, agencies that shrug, and political leaders who suddenly lose their voices the moment a story becomes inconvenient. Because here's the truth. When any American raises serious concerns, when any citizen claims they've been targeted, threatened, or put in danger, we deserve more than a polite nod and a press release. We deserve answers. And whether you love her or hate her, Candace Owens is an American citizen, an American voice, an American who has every right, every constitutional right to be taken seriously when she says something is wrong. But what do we get instead? A wall of silence, a shrug, a void, a government including people on the right acting like the topic is too radioactive to touch. Since when did patriotism mean being quiet? Since when did loving America mean ignoring threats? Since when did America first become America eventually? If we get around to it. I don't care what administration is in power. Republican, Democrat, Independent, Martian. When an American says something dangerous or suspicious has happened, our government owes us transparency. Period. End of story. And let me be clear. I am not here to claim what happened. I am not here to declare guilt, and I'm not here to push facts that haven't been proven. But I am here to demand what the American people always deserve, and that's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. If there was a threat, tell us. If there wasn't, prove it. If there's information, release it. If there's nothing to see, then show us there's nothing to see. Because silence breeds suspicion. Stonewalling breeds distrust. Cover-ups, real or perceived, eat away at the foundation of this nation more than any foreign enemy could ever dream of. And here's what angers me the most. This isn't the America our founders designed. This country wasn't built on secrecy. It wasn't built on quiet backroom deals or classified excuses. It wasn't built on checks. It was built on checks and balances, open debate, and a government that answers to its people, not the other way around. Yet here we are, a nation where politicians talk endlessly about transparency while giving us everything but transparency. A nation where leaders campaign on courage but govern in silence. A nation where the truth has to fight to be heard. And that should terrify every American, left, right, and center. Let me tell you something. You cannot run a free nation on selective honesty. You cannot protect a republic with half-truths. And you cannot earn the loyalty of American people by refusing to look them in the eye. It is not extreme to demand answers. It is not dangerous to ask questions. It is not out of bounds to expect our government, all of it, to investigate serious allegations with seriousness. If we want a stronger America, if we want trust restored, if we want a government that serves the people and not itself, then we must reject this culture of silence. We must reject the uniparty habit of burying anything uncomfortable. We must reject the don't ask questions politeness that they expect from us. We must reject the idea that the truth is optional. Because the truth is not optional. It never was. And tonight, we stand as Americans, demanding better, demanding honesty, demanding transparency, and demanding the courage our leaders seem to have misplaced. We don't need conspiracies. We don't need rumors. We don't need whispers. We need the truth. And until we get it, we won't stop asking. All right, folks. The studio is applauding. She's not reading. She has an earpiece. I'm motherfucking reading, you asshole. I have fucking show notes. I write them. This woman does an amazing job on her show. Let's all stick with her and keep this going. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you so much. I can't have this show without all of you. I need you guys to share every bit of anything I post. Even if it seems like it's not serious, I promise you it is. There is definitely truth in everything I post, even when it's veiled in humor or sexy sass. We need to create a movement. And in doing that, I want you to subscribe to my Rumble. It is so much better than Instagram. It runs better. I love you all to pieces. Is my hair darker? No, a little bit. I did tone some of the faded highlights that I had. Mr. Potts, welcome. AJ says, I know you know I'm crazy about you, but I'm very impressed with how you handle these shows. I know how much work goes into it. Good for you and your fierce ass. Thank you, AJ. This woman does. Yeah, I read that one already. Hitler had it figured out long before all of us. So I've been learning German and I've been listening to Hitler's early stuff before all the things happened, and I'll say it's quite interesting. Killuminati John says, I always follow where the truth is. Your makeup looks spot on today. Thank you, Potts. All right, my thirsty loves, thirsty for the truth. That's what we're thirsty for. The trap is just a treat. We're in war. This is boot camp. Good night. Until tomorrow, I bid you adieu. Mwah.